Welcome to Living Your Path. I am Cecile Ferry, a coach and astrologer. I'm here to guide you on how to live and work in alignment with your true self so you can find fulfillment and serenity. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to the first podcast of the new year of 2025. And let me start with wishing you a beautiful, happy, prosperous, healthy, calm, exciting, successful, and joyful new year. These are all the things I wish to you personally, my dear listener. It's great to be back. I have missed it over the last couple of weeks, but I couldn't get to here earlier as much as I wanted to. It's been a lot. Christmas was lovely. I spent it with my daughter and her dad. We like to just keep it to our little family. And then I had my 45th birthday, which I celebrated with a lot of my close friends. And that was really lovely. But that was a lot. And after all of the food and the drinking and the socializing, I found myself a little tired. And if you add to that Mars retrograde, which is forcing us to slow down. We don't have our full power to go, and achieve massive amounts until really late February. It's hard, right? So the last week or so, I have found myself a little sick, a little trying to recover, getting my energy back, and it wasn't really there. So I honor myself. I took it slowly. I rested. So that's why I couldn't come here earlier, but there you go. I have an episode for you today, which is about the new year. And I nearly wanted to call it New Year, New You, but it's such a cliche. And actually, what I want to talk about today is the opposite of that. I want to be zagging when everyone is zigging. Because right now, it's another year. I get really tired. I don't know, you seeing all this avalanche of advice, of products, services, like advertising, like things on social media, trying to sell you some stuff for your new year. It's all well and good, but I actually think it has more commercial intent than anything, than personal intent. But the thing is, I don't think it works. And so I didn't want to be another person here saying to you, hey, how about we set up some exciting goals? Yes, we do want to set up some goals. Goals are really important so you know where you are going. We do need direction, absolutely, but they are not everything. And the point that I'm willing to make today is that actually before you set up new goals, you have to look at who you want to be this year. And that is why I call this my invitation for you this year. I want to invite you to change things about yourself before you start setting up new goals, because that is the truth. The reason why you don't have in your life what you really deeply desire is not that you're not good enough, or that you're not worthy of that, or that you're not smart enough, that you don't have enough time, or that you haven't tried hard enough. None of the above. It's probably because you are not in alignment with the person who has those things. It's because there are things in you that need to shift in order for things on the outside of you to show up. Does that make sense? Bear with me, I'm going to get into it. So what I was saying is, if you just go by what the world is currently telling you, which is set up new goals, list some actions, get hard at it, and it will happen. I wish. It does happen for some people, but for the majority of us, it doesn't. And if you look back on your life, look at your goals for last year, and did they come about, and why not? So if you haven't done that work yet and you're interested, I have a free yearly planner that you can download. It's a really nice PDF that you can print and fill in your own time, or you can fill it on your computer. and it's available to anyone. So I will put the link in the show note if you haven't got it yet. This is a really good thing to do together with this podcast. So the website is at cecilferry.com/planner. You just need to put in your email address and you will receive the planner in your inbox instantly. So look back. But my main point here is nothing has changed yet. You know, like we go 1st of January, we set up new goals and we've got these massive hopes and we get excited. Yes, that's good. But we are the exact same person that we were back in September or back in November 2024. Has anything changed? Probably not. So what I'm saying is it's all well and good. And that's the problem that I have with the personal development industry that just talks about goals, goals, goals. Very often it doesn't translate that way. It's not enough to have goals and to set them up. And then we think it's going to be easy to take the action. Usually it requires some kind of change on a personal level because otherwise we would already have those things in our life. And so I think I'm not doing you a favor unless I help you shifting some of those things that are internal, because then you're going to start seeing progress on the external level in your life. And trust me, I have been doing that in my own life, and that's how the world goes. That's not what you see. That is not what you are being sold, because a lot of that work you do yourself in your own brain. So that doesn't sell stuff. No one wants that. So they will sell you all the stuff that they think you need, and then will market it to you. But at the end of the day, a lot of the work comes from what you do inside of you. And that is free, my friend. So that's what I want to talk about today. And so I want to step away from the go, 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 action plans and all of that. And instead, I want to ask you to look at what does need to change within you in order for you to have more fulfillment this year, in order for you to feel more inner peace, more harmony with yourself and with your close ones, in order for you to have better relationships, in order for you to have better health, in order for you to have maybe better finances. Like those are those external things, but they're attached to ways that you're currently thinking and feeling a lot of the time. And that translates into your action. So I'm suggesting new year, new you, as in not new year, new actions, new year, new ways of thinking inside your brain, new ways of treating yourself, new ways of behaving, new ways of feeling about certain situations. And believe me, once you implement that, you watch. Things on the outside are going to change. So that is the key, because you can have the same goal as last year. You'll have the same result if it hasn't happened last year. So first of all, we're going to grow ourselves because number one, that feels great. And number two, that is what attracts better thing to ourselves on the external level, in the people, places, even opportunities that come to us. So I hope you're with me. And so today I thought I would give you some example, because you're like, that sounds good, but where do I start? And I don't know what I need to do. So obviously this is something that a coaching session will be really perfect for, in order to give you some personalized guidance, because I don't know you right now. I don't know what are the pain points in your life. I don't know what is stressing you out. I don't know what's keeping you up at night. I would love to, right? And so based on that, I'm going to give you some thought starters here, but you have to do some of that work by yourself, or you can reach out and you can book just a one-off session for me. That can be a really good way to start the year. I'll put the link in the show note as well. It's just on my website, and you can just do one session and see where it takes you and see whether you need any more beyond that. It's really up to you. But think about it, because you can do some of that by yourself, but if you're not totally clear and you're the kind of person that will hang on to excuses, or, in a way, indulge in confusion because we are confused and we think, well, then I don't know. Then we get stuck and we don't make progress. So if you do want something different this year, you need to do something different, right? So think about it. You may want coaching sessions. They will be available from February in my calendar, so you can book them. All right. So let me get started with those examples. So here we go. And those are in no particular order. They're a bit random. They go in every direction, but it is to prompt you. It is to start opening little windows, bubbles in your mind, and then you can complete with your own self. And you can use the planner as well. It will help you trigger some of those thoughts based on the questions that are included in the planner. So here are some examples of a new year, a new you. What could you be doing differently this year? Let me start with some of those. I will be less on my phone as a distraction and find other ways to meet my emotional needs. That's a big one for me too, right? We are tired, we are bored, we need a break, we need some quick dopamine. There are other ways to get that than our phones. So something to ponder. I will cook more food at home versus takeaway, or like when you could, but out of convenience, you just go the easy route, the path of least resistance. It's not always really good for you. Another one is I will do a B- job rather than an A+, and I will get more done. That can be alone a really big one for this year. Can you imagine if you started adopting this perspective at work or in your life at home or with your kids, like the changes that will come from that? In other words, I will accept things that are not quite perfect. I will accept things that are imperfect in my life and watch the level of achievement that comes from that. Another one is I will do one hard thing each day. I love that one. Where I actually bought that one from Robin Sharma from one of his mastery sessions. And he says, life is not meant to be smooth and easy every day. And the people who grow are those that every day do one thing that is a little hard. In other words, that can also mean I'll stop procrastinating. So that's one that I started implementing at the beginning of this year, and I'm tracking in my habits. Every day, I want to be doing something that feels a little icky, that I really don't want to do, and I'm pushing myself to do it. Another one is I won't give up after a couple of weeks. I will invest consistently in a new activity or project or habit before saying it doesn't work. So that might be one that appeals to you. Another one is I will stop worrying about things that are unlikely or thinking about worst case scenarios and instead will tell myself everything will be okay. So if you have a tendency to catastrophize or to future trip and worry about stuff that hasn't happened yet, this can be a really good decision to make. Another one is I will focus on one goal at a time and do it properly. And I think we all should use that one once you get to goals, because trying to do too many things at the same time is kind of a recipe for not fully committing to one and probably not going to get there either. Another one is I will stop looking for approval and acceptance from others and instead give it to myself. That is a big one. And a lot of us might recognize ourselves into that. So look at where you are giving your power away, where you are seeking to be admired or seeking to be liked, seeking to be praised, or just people saying, yeah, this is what you should be doing in order to move forward. And stop waiting and just give that permission to yourself, give that validation to yourself. Another is I will stop following other people's vision for my life and I will follow my own instead. So they may be you. Maybe you have been influenced and you're feeling like controlled by what other people want for you at work, at home, in your relationship. And maybe that's not you. So the decision this year could be I will stop listening to what people think I should do, and instead I'll do what is authentically me. I've got a couple more to go. I will embrace the unknown despite the fear, and I will get into my discomfort zone. Or in other words, I will say yes to new experiences. So that is a choice that we make. And I did a really good episode on this podcast in the previous season called The Discomfort Zone. I'll link it in the show note. Highly recommend you go and listen to that. Your life may be in a good place right now, but maybe you are staying all the time kind of within your comfort zone. And every time there is something you could be doing that would grow you, of course there are fears, of course. And it might be easy to just decide not to go there. Maybe this year, therefore, you need to embrace stepping outside of that comfort zone and going through with whatever is going on in spite of the fear. Another big one is I will embrace self-love this year and break free from relationships that are not good for me. I will only spend time with people who energize and appreciate me. I am not going to settle for less than I deserve. Ooh, there's a lot in that. You may want to re-listen, go back and re-listen. All this self-love, the getting rid of relationships that are not aligned, and really knowing what you deserve. And you do deserve happiness, respect, joy, and you deserve to be given to as well in those relationships. It's not you being harsh. So maybe this is the year to be like, no more of this, no more of that. And you put yourself first. That might mean less of those relationships for some time. But the gain that you're going to feel internally and the fact that then there will be room for better things to enter your life, all of that is entirely worth it. Another big one is I will pay attention to my inner dialogue and refuse to entertain unnecessary worry, self-criticism, or unnecessary high standards. That is a big one for me, right? And we all have an inner dialogue. Just look at yours. What are the main things that your inner dialogue tells you? Some people it's catastrophizing. Some people it's I can't. Some other people is I haven't done the right thing here, or I'm going to upset people, or I should be doing better. Like it's, I really should do this, should not do that. The guilt that goes with it. All of those negative emotions, the shame, the guilt, the fear, the anxiety, and sometimes the anger, right? So all those things just create noise into your head, and they are not bringing you closer to your personal goals because they create a vibration that's not the right one. So choose this year to reduce that vibration, and you have that power, that level of control. It's just a habit that you need to start taking. So we're not going to be targeting everything, but just tell yourself, for instance, I will stop my self-criticism. Catch yourself talking to yourself that way and go, no, and replace it with something more positive. So that can be a really big one that will shift the dial, trust me. Another one is I will find 2 hours a week for myself this year, in solitude, in stillness, or in movement to replenish myself. Because if it hasn't happened last year, if you cannot find 2 hours a week to yourself, then something really needs to change in your schedule, in your time management, because you're on this planet to also be with yourself and to look after yourself. And if you can't find 2 hours out of 168 per week that you have purely for yourself, then something needs to be rebalanced. And I can help you too in a coaching session. I have a well-being optimizing session that would be perfect for that. So you can go and check it out on my website. I can help you carve those 2 hours and make it happen. And that is going to be such a foundation for you this year. I have 2 more. I will grow my connection with my intuition and listen to it more. That's definitely one happening for me this year. I've made good progress in the past. I've been a little bit off that late last year with busyness, but I really want to get back into that. And then the last one I have for you here is I will release control and allow room for destiny. What a big one to finish up with. And it's actually a key theme we will collectively be working on as the lunar nodes are shifting from this weekend, the 11th of January or the 12th of January, based on where you are in the world. So we have the North Node and the South Node, which are points in the sky, and they're really important karmic points. And so they shift sign every 18 months. And the signs that they're in, the axis we call it, because it's North and South Node are opposite. So it's like an axis. And the sign that they are in, the both opposite sign, really tells us what we need to work on, what we need to step away from, and what we need to move towards. It's like a journey. So this weekend, the lunar nodes are shifting to Virgo and Pisces. And the North Node that we want to move towards is the Pisces side. And Pisces is about the dissolution of ego, and it's about relinquishing control. It's about trusting that there are bigger forces, there are things larger than us in the universe that are there to support us, and it's important to surrender. So I love that example, how it actually aligns with the energy we are all going to be feeling over the next 18 months, particularly around the 4 eclipses that we have this year. So if you like this, stay tuned. My next podcast episode will be an overview of the astrology of 2025. I wish I could have done it already, but I'm still myself absorbing everything because there's a lot, obviously, to know when you're an astrologer. There are lots of different facts. There's lots of different information out there. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting, gathering all of that, and I will distribute it back to you in a very digestible, easy, essential kind of format. You don't need to know everything. So I'm only about halfway through this process. And then I'm away next week. Got a short trip coming up. So I think this will be with you realistically towards the end of January. So I apologize for the delay on that. But the main thing anyway in January is the shift of nodes that I've just mentioned now. But it will be with us for 18 months. So you won't be missing out when you get the podcast on the yearly astrology. So there you go, my friend. That's what I had for you today. I hope that some of those have resonated with you. What I really recommend, maybe listen again to those examples, take a pen and paper and write down those that really speak to you and select maybe 2, 3, 4 and really implement those this year. Like if before you do anything, this should be your goal. It's a valid goal to decide to change your inner dialogue. It's a valid goal to work on your intuition. It's a very valid goal to carve 2 hours to yourself, you know? These don't sound like what the world tells you, like, oh, a new job, losing weight, earning more money. Those things will come, but first, you need to change the person that you are. And I don't really like the word change. It sounds like we're faulty. No, we need to evolve the person that we are. We need to just grow. We need to upgrade. I like that word better. It's time to upgrade yourself in 2025. And I have given you today lots of ways to do that. Even if you just do one of them, you will have upgraded, my friend. So this is important. Choose and be intentional about it and just stick to it. Commit to it this year. And then you can finish your planner for 2025 and then you can put your other goals. But they're more likely to happen because you're going to be a healthier you. You're going to be more empowered and things are going to come from the inside out, as opposed to try to reach something when your insides are not aligned with it, if that makes sense. So that is my wish for you this year, is that you upgrade. It doesn't matter in what direction and how much. Is that a year from now, you will be a better version of yourself. And even by just listening to this podcast throughout the year, you will do that. I guarantee you. So I'm here to help you. I will have coaching spots and I have birth chart reading spots available from February. So think about it. If that's what you want, that's what you need for this year. Do this for yourself, invest in yourself, and you will reap the rewards. My friend, wishing you a great start to the year, a great start to January. Remember, take it slow. It is Mars retrograde. So no expectation to hit everything straight out the gate and to be in full action mode. Instead, perfect time to reflect on who you want to be this year and what you are going to be upgrading in your thoughts, in your feelings, and your actions. I leave you with all of that, wishing you best of success, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye, everyone.